And this is Joe calling right now. So,
All right, we gotta
we're
go
get
quick
started.
because we got 15
So
minutes.
surreal.
All right, here we go.
Prison. You will not be charged for this call. This call is from
Joe.
This call will be recorded. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time.
Joe, can you hear us?
This call, press 5. To block this call and all future calls, press 7. To reject, you may begin speaking now.
Dave.
Joe, it's good to have you.
Joe Exotic!
All right. Hey,
Appreciate you having me, man.
no, it's good to have you on. There's 3 of us sitting here today. I'm Steve.
Just what?
There's 3 of us sitting here right now. I'm Steve. We have my wife, Alyssa, who's here. You've been talking to her on Instagram. And then we also have...
Yeah, that would be Amy talking to her, okay?
That's Amy. Okay, that's one of the questions we had for you. And we also have Mr. David Gavry, who's here with us as well. So there's 3 of us in the round table. We want to ask you some questions to get this thing started. But first off, a lot of people are wondering how you're managing a personal brand from prison. You mentioned Amy just now. How are you going about the process of managing and talking to people and staying in contact? I mean, you're a celebrity out here. I don't know if you are a celebrity in prison as well, but how do you manage your social media?
You know what? What's crazy is I have 2 people in Florida, 1 person in Indiana, 1 person in Ohio, 1 person in Canada, and 1 person in London that run all of my social media
Wow.
and do everything for me. And you know I haven't met one of them.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, because and they've been doing it for hell over 4 years, and everybody that I was associated with that was in Tiger King, got starstruck and sold their souls for a little bit of cash. So I have depended. I'm the person that's over in Ohio that runs all of my finances and everything. I've never even met him.
That's
Wow.
insane.
That's crazy. How did you put this team together from prison?
Lots of letters. And I've been to 4 other prisons, and I've been to several holdovers in the midst of traveling. And, there's a lot of places that have text, you can text on tablets and video chat and all that shit. So, yeah, it's not been that hard.
That's great. It's nice to know that you have this social media presence. I want to ask you some questions about just what this experience has been like for you overall, because you call yourself a political prisoner. And a lot of people, I think, get confused by that. What do you mean when you say Joe Exotic is a political prisoner?
Well, I mean, if you get on joeexoticofficial.com and you go to the evidence link and you spend a couple days looking at it all, because there's a lot there, you will see that this all started in 2016 with a law that they were trying to pass. Carole and the federal wildlife director, Dan Ash, who is now the president of the AZA, were trying to pass a law called the Big Cat Safety Act. Okay, and I fought it, and I testified in front of the House and the Senate and everywhere else, and kept it from passing for nearly 10 years, right? And they couldn't get it passed, so they concocted with Carole and Jeff and the federal game warden that worked for Dan Ash. They concocted this whole thing up to put me in prison, and then, the producer of Tiger King was actually mostly funded by PETA. So, they made Tiger King, and they made it, made us all look crazy. And then they nicknamed the bill the Tiger King bill instead of the Big Cat Safety Act, and they passed it.
Joe, speaking of Carole Baskin, if she walked into your prison cell tomorrow and said she forgives you, what do you say?
If what? Okay, keep in mind I'm not in a prison cell. Okay, a lot of people got.
You're a medical facility.
Do what?
It's a medical facility, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the place that I'm at is almost like a college campus.
Oh, okay.
There's no doors. There's no bars. We live in dorms, and so forth. Okay. Now you said if Carole what?
If Carole Baskin walked in and saw you face to face and she says, Joe, I forgive you, what do you say? Is there any opportunity for peace?
Okay, well, first of all, I've already forgave everybody that has anything to do with all this, but Carole doesn't need to. Carole needs to ask for forgiveness. Okay, she needs me to forgive her because she's the one who A, murdered her husband. She is the one who B, set this whole ball rolling in motion. She's the one who wrote the Big Cat Safety Act. She's the one who put a wanted poster out on me, and she's the one who did all this. Okay, and she's the one who ended up with my zoo. So I don't have anything to forgive Carole for. Carole doesn't need to ask. I don't need to forgive. I'm confused right now. Carole's the one that needs to apologize.
Okay, so if she comes in and asks, she says, Joe, I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? What's your response to that?
I forgave you 8 years ago.
Aw. So there's opportunity for some peace.
What I've learned out of all this is when I make it out of here, if I don't get a pardon or clemency, I only have 5 years left, and I've already done 8, and it doesn't seem like 8 years already. But it goes faster than people think it does. When I walk out of here, I don't want anything to do with any of this. I want to start a whole new life with a whole new husband that is amazing, and I'm going to Mexico. And
This call is from a federal prison.
everybody can have peace, but but can they have peace? Because to this day, James and Garrison and Jeff Lowe, I'm all they live for.
Yeah. At the end,
You would think 8 years later they would go on their merry way because they shut down Joe's zoo. They put Joe in prison. But Jesus Christ, every letter I get in the mail is Jeff is picking on me on the internet. Jeff is doing this to any supporter of mine. Jeff stalks. So it's time for them to move on because I already have.
Right.
let me ask you about that, Joe, because at the end of the second season of Tiger King, they showcase you and Jeff Lowe working together to get you a pardon, to get you out.
Okay.
And they also showcased that you were framed for the job that they wanted to do on you instead, where you weren't going to kill Carole Baskin, they were going to try to kill you.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, my very first 2 years and 8 months in prison was in solitary confinement. Okay? I had no idea that the lawyers were doing that with Jeff Lowe. I knew that they were trying to get Jeff to turn over his cell phones, which he did, because after the government turned on Jeff and Lauren and James and Alan and them all got mad at the government, so they turned over their cell phones. Okay, but they thought that they erased everything, that would implement them or implicate them, and they didn't. My lawyers recovered 700 phone recordings and videos, including videos of Jeff and Lauren raping girls at the zoo. Okay, so back to your question is, yeah, I haven't seen season 2. I only seen season 1 a year ago. But my lawyers and the whole world says that, yeah, they got on season 2 and admitted to perjury, and Alan Glover took them to the zoo and showed them where he hid a murder weapon, and their plot was to kill me to start with. So I got to ask all y'all sitting at that round table and everybody that's listening to your show right now is, why the hell am I in prison, and why haven't they been charged with perjury and conspiracy to commit murder?
That's a great question to ask, and I wonder the same thing, because if you watch season 1, it's like they're trying to turn you into a villain and a crazy person. You watch season 2, it seems like all of a sudden the producers are on your side and they're trying to paint a vision of you as a person who was framed.
Okay, well, keep in mind, season 1, they got their agenda. They got the Tiger King, the Big Cat Safety Act bill passed. Okay, so it was done. It was over with. And 34 million people watched it in the first week just in America alone, and this aired in 123 countries. So just say, $1 a person. They made $34 million off of destroying me and putting me in prison.
Joe, David here. Quick question. Everything that you've been through, all the negative craziness that has happened to you, what kind of nuggets of wisdom, what kind of positive lessons, if any, can you share with us, everything that you've gone through that has made you a better person today?
Keep your social circles very small. Trust very few people. You know, and you gotta put your faith and your trust in God. And you know, I lost my parents since I've been in here too. So I have lost a lot. 8 years of my life, my entire work that I spent 55 years working. Never even had a speeding ticket before this, and yeah, they destroyed my life. But you know what keeps me going is I'm looking forward to starting over and coming back bigger and better.
When you finish season 2, it kind of looks like you're about to get pardoned. You're about to get out of prison. You're about to get resentenced, and they're going to take off this conspiracy for murder charge because it makes it look like they literally just framed you. Why do you think that the jury looked at this a second time and said, no, still guilty? And why do you think President Trump hasn't pardoned you?
I understand how this system works. Okay, again, I was in solitary confinement. All of the big buses, Pardon Joe Exotic, all the limos, that was all put on by the producers of Tiger King for the show. I had nothing to do with that. Actually, I was pissed off after I found out what they'd done. Okay? Because that's not me. If I get a pardon today or tomorrow, I'm going to walk out of here and nobody's going to know where I go. Nobody's going to know when I walk out of here. Because that big hoopla bullshit, that's not me. Okay? What was the other part of that question?
Why do you think President Trump didn't pardon you and still hasn't pardoned you?
Well, and that's a question that I would like the world to ask, okay? Because, you know, in 2020, I understand January 6th happened. He didn't go to the inauguration, you know, and he had a lot of crap. And even Sean Hannity was like, Joe was on the list. What happened? You know, because he didn't pardon a lot of people that were on the pardon list. Why he hadn't pardoned me yet? Man, I don't know. I would like the world to ask that question. Why I consider myself a political prisoner is my people have screenshots of Kamala Harris's Twitter that I know they put on social media several times, and Kamala Harris bragged. She literally bragged about co-sponsoring the Big Cat Safety Act and encouraged everybody to go watch Tiger King so they could pass that bill.
Mm-hmm.
How do your prison mates treat you? Is there a stereotype? Do they know about you? What's their take on?
This call is from a federal prison.
Oh, everybody knows about me. I mean, all the inmates know about me. Their families know about me. You know, that's part of why I spent the first 2 years and 8 months in solitary confinement, was because of all the press, the hoopla, and the bullshit.
What's the first thing you're going to do? I know you mentioned go to Mexico, be with your husband down there. What are the things that are on Joe Exotic's bucket list once you get out of prison?
The first thing I'm going to do is go to Mexico. And, you know, and I put this out in the public I don't know how many times. I'm going to work my ass off to buy George one of those $5 million Trump cards so he can come back to America with me. But my goals is I've been offered a world tour for a concert. I have a goal in my own mind because Operation Smile is my favorite charity, and that was my favorite charity before all this happened. And my goal is to use my platform that I have now to fix 5,000 little kids' faces.
I love that. It's a very pure mission, too.
Joe.
And I'm going to get back to my charity work. But, hey, guys, this thing beep, which means you got about 40 seconds left to wrap this up.
Joe, how would you do this differently? What's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret is letting Jeff Lowe in my life, believe it or not. I don't even hold that much animosity against Carole. This would never happen to me if I'd have never met Jeff Lowe.
Wow.
That's something else.
That's not what the documentary made us believe.
Yeah. Any last words for us, Joe?
Tell everybody out there that I appreciate their love and support. Me and George send our love and respect to everybody around the world. Hashtag Free Joe Exotic everywhere you can on political posts. And there's several petitions out there that, my people have got to Trump and to Governor Stitt because this happened in Oklahoma. And
Just like that.
So that was interesting.
That was surreal.